It was just supposed to be a late night walk, nothing more. I needed some air, some quiet, just me, the trees, and the wind, but something felt wrong the moment I stepped into that part of the forest. The silence wasn't peaceful, it was alert, like the woods were holding their breath. I ignored the feeling. I shouldn't have. About 10 minutes in, I started hearing twigs snap behind me. Every time I turned around, there was nothing, nothing I could see, but the sound kept returning, closer and closer as if it were matching my footsteps. Perfectly. I stopped. The wind died. Then I heard it. A whisper, directly behind my ear. Don't look behind you. I froze. Every instinct told me to run, but I couldn't move. My legs refused to obey. I could feel it now. Something standing behind me, breathing, but I still hadn't looked. Not yet. I don't know why I did it. Maybe instinct, maybe stupidity, but I turned around, and there it was. A hooded figure, cloaked in shadow, clawed hands reaching, and eyes glowing red, burning through the darkness. Through me. It didn't move, it didn't speak. It only raised one hand and pointed at me. I took one hesitant step forward, my flashlight trembling in my hand. The red eyes didn't blink. They just stared, unmoving, like they were burned into the trees themselves. Then they vanished. I spun around instinctively, scanning the forest with wide eyes. Nothing, just the same twisted trunks and dead silence. I took a shaky breath and muttered to myself, I'm just tired. That's all. Overtired. Seeing things. But then I heard breathing. Not mine. Low, guttural, and raspy, like something exhaling through broken lungs. It was behind me. So close, I swear I could feel its breath on my neck. I froze. I remembered the message. The one scratched on the abandoned cabin door earlier that evening. Don't look behind you. I was shaking now. My instincts screamed at me to run, but something else whispered in my mind. It knows when you look. That's how it finds you. I took another step forward, refusing to turn around. The breathing got louder. And then, something touched my shoulder. The weight was light, almost curious, like whatever it was didn't fully understand what I was. I clenched my jaw. I didn't move. Leave, I whispered, barely audible. But then, right in my ear, a voice, wet and broken, said, You brought me here. The figure didn't lower its hand. Its long, clawed finger remained aimed straight at my chest, as if accusing me of something I hadn't done yet. Then, it tilted its head, just slightly, not in confusion, but curiosity, or hunger. My breathing turned ragged. The air around me grew thicker, harder to inhale. It stepped forward, not walking, gliding. The distance between us vanished in a heartbeat. Its face, if you could call it that, was just a void beneath the hood, but something shifted in that darkness. Something opened. Not eyes. Something worse. I stumbled back, nearly tripping on a root. I looked around, desperate for an escape, but everything behind me was swallowed in shadows now. The path, the trees, gone. You looked, it whispered again, but this time from all directions, like the woods themselves had a voice. Then louder. You saw me. Now I see you. And then, crack, a twig behind me. Again. But the thing was still in front of me. Still pointing. Still silent. So, who or what just moved behind me? I didn't want to turn. I couldn't turn. But something brushed my neck. Ice cold, like fingers made of smoke. I spun around. Nothing. Then I looked back. The figure was gone. Only the forest remained. Quiet. Still. As if it had swallowed what just happened. But there, carved into a nearby tree, were the words, One of us now. I stared at the tree. One of us now. The letters weren't just carved. They were burned into the bark, fresh, smoldering, smoke still rising. But I hadn't seen fire. I hadn't smelled anything. And that tree wasn't there before. I would have remembered it. I would have passed it. I turned around again. The forest shifted. Not literally, but it felt different. The path behind me was narrower, the trees taller, the sky darker, like the woods were folding in on themselves. I pulled out my phone, desperate for light or signal. Nothing. No bars, no flashlight. The screen flickered, then turned black. And in its reflection, for just a split second, I saw my own face. but not how I remembered it. It was twisted, wide-eyed, grinning. Wrong. I dropped the phone. It didn't matter anymore. I could feel it again. That presence. Not far now. Watching. Smiling. I took a step forward, then another. There was no path left. Just forest. But something was guiding me. I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. But I knew where to go. And that's when I saw the second message, scratched in the dirt with claw marks. Turn around again. I dare you. I didn't turn. I couldn't. But I felt it behind me again, closer than ever, breathing against the back of my neck. Not warm, not cold, just wrong. Like the air itself was being poisoned. I squeezed my eyes shut. Just run. Just move. Just breathe. I opened them. I wasn't in the woods anymore. Not completely. The trees were there, yes, but they were moving, breathing, like veins ran through their bark, pulsing, watching. And the ground, it was no longer dirt and leaves, it was faces, human faces, half buried, whispering, some smiling, some screaming, some silently mouthing things I didn't understand. And one of them was mine, eyes wide open, staring up at me. Welcome back, it whispered, lips barely moving. You were always meant to return. I stumbled backward, choking on air, and collided into something solid. It wasn't a tree, it was the hooded figure. But this time, there were two, both identical, both staring. One smiled, the other whispered, You looked behind you, now they'll never stop. I turned to run, but the forest folded, literally, like a piece of paper being crumpled by a hand too large to see. The trees twisted inward, bending at impossible angles, groaning like they were in pain. The sky, gone. Just a void. No stars, no moon, just black. And from that blackness came whispers. Not just behind me anymore, inside me. They didn't sound human. They didn't use words, but I understood them. You are not real. You were never real. He made you look. Now you belong to us. My skin started to peel. No blood, just light escaping from underneath, like my body was just a shell trying to contain something it never could. I screamed, but even my voice was wrong. Distorted, echoing with hundreds of others, like I wasn't alone inside my own throat anymore. Then, the two hooded figures reached toward each other and emerged, their flesh twisted together, faces melting like wax, arms fusing, until there was just one, taller, wider, its eyes now glowing white instead of red. It spoke, but this time, it used my voice. There's no turning back now. You brought this on yourself. I tried to wake up. I bit my lip until it bled. I dug my nails into my palms, but nothing changed. I wasn't dreaming. I was trapped. And then, from the trees, something else stepped out. Something worse. It didn't walk like a person. It glided. The ground didn't move under it. It moved the ground. With every inch it came closer, the dirt rotted. Mushrooms turned to ash. The trees leaned away from it. Even the air around it grew still, like the wind itself was too afraid to breathe. It had no face, just a long, stretched shadow where a head should be. But even without eyes, I could feel it staring at me. Like it already knew everything about me. Like it always had. Then I noticed its arms. They weren't arms. They were mirrors. Long, jagged shards that reflected not just me, but twisted versions of me. Versions I'd never seen. One where my face was hollowed out. One where I was screaming, but my mouth was sewn shut. One where I was laughing, while something dragged behind me in chains. I fell to my knees, shaking. The whispers came back, but this time they were clear. You were warned. The creature tilted its head, its mirror arm raised slowly, and pointed at my chest. Suddenly, every reflection in the shards turned to show one thing. Me, standing in this exact moment, being pulled backward into the darkness. The forest split open behind me like a curtain of flesh, and two rotting hands reached out. I tried to move, I tried to scream, but all I could do was watch, as they grabbed my shoulders and pulled. I don't remember the pain, only the cold, a suffocating, endless cold, like falling through ice, but never hitting the water. The hands didn't pull me into the forest. They pulled me through it. The trees disappeared. The ground vanished, and I was falling, spinning in a void of endless black, pierced only by flashes of red lightning. In each flash, I saw faces, but they weren't strangers. They were all me. Hundreds of versions of myself, some laughing, some screaming, some gone. Just empty sockets and silent mouths. Then everything stopped. I was standing in a room made of teeth, the walls, the ceiling, even the floor, all lined with jagged, uneven teeth, chattering softly like a swarm of insects whispering secrets. At the far end, there was a mirror, and in it, I saw myself. But I wasn't alone. The figure stood behind me, no longer a shadow, now made of every nightmare I'd ever had. Its face was finally visible. It was mine, twisted, rotten, smiling. It leaned close to my reflection and whispered, in my own voice, "You turned around." Then the mirror shattered, and everything went dark. Forever. Don't turn around. Ever again.